I've always been a guy that's, enjoyed, getting the forwards involved, and those are our goal scorers, and those are our guys that, need to finish our chances. And I think Jason and the coaching staff and even some of the players have tried to challenge me to be more selfish in and around the goal, to take some chances myself, especially, if I do a lot of the work to get into those spots, to take advantage of it. And so I definitely feel like I'm still growing as a player. And I know that sounds weird to some people maybe. I'm 29 years old. But I really do feel like I've gotten better every year I've been here. I feel like I'm becoming more comfortable, even though I have been extremely comfortable. And so I feel like those are all things going forward for me that are exciting a little bit. There's plays in a game that are probably just as important as a goal. And I know goals are huge because they change games. But assists are huge. There's other plays in the game where you maybe track back on a guy, you chase a guy down, you don't win it, you chase the next guy down, you don't win it, you chase the next guy down, you win it, and then your team is off to the races and maybe you score on that play. And so I think that there's important moments and plays in a game, especially in the position that I play. I think it's extremely hard to be a guy who scores a ton of goals or, like you said, shows up in the stat line in that position. And I think that's going back to since we started this formation. I think if you looked at every player that ever played in that spot, it's extremely hard to score goals from that spot. And so I feel like it's not just what I'm doing, but I feel like it's what the team's doing. I think guys are more comfortable. Even a guy like Javier, who likes to kind of float around a little bit, and he's finding himself in my spot, and I'm finding myself in his spot at times now. And so I think that could be the difference as well. But for me personally, I've never been one to want any sort of spotlight or anything like that. If I didn't score throughout the season, of course I'd be upset. I want to score goals. I want to make plays to help make a difference. But at the same time, I know how important some of the other duties and responsibilities are in that position. And I think it takes a bit of a special mindset in that position to kind of know your role. Not think that you're necessarily more important than you are, as crazy as that sounds. But that's been a little bit of a role player position. And I'm happy doing that because we've had success in making the playoffs, and I hope going forward, we have more success. When we won the championship in 2009, it's kind of when it really took off. The fans, I feel like, are very proud of the team here. Not just the success, but the way we try and play, the type of players and people that we bring to the community. In the state of Utah, I think, is a really important thing to the fans here. And I think that they appreciate that as well. And I know with the coaching staff and management, bringing good, not just good soccer players, but good people to the state of Utah and to Salt Lake City to represent this club is highly important. And I feel like all those things is something for the fans to buy into. And I know, even in my neighborhood and when I'm out and about and get recognized, the fans are extremely nice, never ever overstep the boundaries, but just come up to you and say, hey, congrats on the season so far, we're really happy the way things are going, we'd love to support you guys. And the more you hear that and the more that comes about, you think to yourself, this is a special club, not just in this city, but in MLS. I took a little bit of heat for that, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I just wanted to add an S to the end of my last name. My wife and I have 4-month-old twins, and they had a pretty difficult start, to their life. And so obviously I was away from the game for a while, two different times for a few weeks, and so I wasn't with the team really for a good amount of time. And I just felt like coming back and everything that they had been through was a little bit of a way to kind of honor not myself but my family, to let people know that I'm not just playing for myself, but I'm playing for the Grabavoys, my family, an extended family as well. And so I feel like it was just a small way to kind of honor them and let my wife and kids know that that they were with me in my first game back. A lot of people didn't know about it. In fact, I'm not sure how many people did know about it. I kind of just talked to the equipment manager and said, hey, people might not be happy about this, but can you do this for me? Just put an S on there. It's one game. I didn't know if I was going to go on that game or not, and I probably wouldn't have done it again if I didn't. But I just felt like, you know, the previous few months, there's just been so much that was going on off the field. My wife and kids still haven't been to a game just because of, you know, how difficult it is and time and all that stuff. And so it's just a way a little bit to let them know that I'm not just playing for myself, but playing for them as well. So in saying that, you know, the club's always been very supportive of family and off-the-field situations. Jason was extremely easy to deal with when that was going on multiple times. You know, I was away from the team for a good amount of time, but when I came back, you know, I had to obviously earn back some things, which is understandable. Any player should expect that here. But Jason and Garth have always been great with off-the-field stuff, and it's not just for myself. That's been for multiple players with whatever they've had going on. And I feel like you see that a little bit, and you realize to yourself, knowing that the coaches and general management have those thoughts, and you know, really, you know, to let players, you know, take what's more important sometimes and be away. For me, it means a ton. Obviously, you come to training, you work hard and all those things, but it's difficult sometimes to step back and say to yourself, you know, I've played here now 5 seasons, in this league a long time. You look around, there's a lot of guys I've played with that aren't here anymore, and you really want to start to make the most of things. And I feel like you gain perspective as you get older on everything, your profession, life, family, all those things. And so I feel like, you know, some of those things are some of the things that drive me when maybe I feel like I'm tired, or, you know, I have something else that's bothering me, or whatever it may be. And so I feel like, you know, going forward and being a mature veteran, those are things that you can kind of, you know, teach younger players as well a little bit. Maybe I didn't learn it as early as I should have. I think it probably took me some time until I got to this club to fully realize some of those things, but I don't take them for granted now. And so I fully enjoy coming to training every day, being a professional soccer player. There's a lot of things I could be doing, but this is what I love. And so you start to gain a little bit of perspective, and you want to do it as long as you possibly can and be as good at it, not just hang on to it, but be as good at it as you can.